to today's happy hour, where we talk about something really interesting. We discuss the topic of whether a flexible working environment will be suitable for your business. And so of course it really depends on what kind of business you run. If you run a factory and you run a manufacturing outfit, then you gotta have clear working hours where people come in and they come in on time as well. If you run a restaurant, you run a cafe, there are opening hours and you require your employees to come in on time. So there are certain businesses where flexible working hours would be more suitable, okay? But this is the thing. 15 years ago, probably even more than that, this would hardly even be a topic. But lately it's really something that people are debating because flexible working hours are important. But why is it starting to be important? Because we do have more women in the workforce, and that and having more women in the workforce requires them. And these days, they need to be able to maintain a good job and at the same time raise very young families. And so as we find that, flexible working hours become important to them. Yeah. So let me just put it out here and define it. What is the meaning of flexible working hours? It means that you can come to work anytime and you can work anywhere. So there are two. But this is the critical part, and this is important here. I feel that for a flexible working environment to work, there must be two. It takes two to tango. It's like clapping hands. You can't clap with just one hand. But the first part that's going to be really important is the company's readiness. How ready is the company and its leadership, its management team to accept flexible working hours? Number two, the right individual. I don't believe that every individual deserves the privilege of flexible working hours. Okay, so that's really important, where it takes two to tango. Sometimes the flexible privilege can be given to the wrong person and then they misuse it. Okay, so when does flexible working environments work? Then when it does. And for some of you out there that are considering a flexible working environment, or you already have a flexible working environment and it may not be working for you. So there are three very important points for you to consider. Number one is to consider having a proper accountability system. A proper accountability system means that, look, are your employees, or at least the ones that are on flexible work hours, what is the performance that is required from them? Are there performance measures? How are they being monitored? Yeah. Number three, do these employees know what is required of them? What is communicated? Are there periods of review where they get to sit down and discuss with their superiors around how to work better? So these are the accountability systems that must be in place. Number two is a real mindset shift for the leaders, managers, and business owners. A mindset shift. Why? Because gone are those days, and I think there are some business owners and leaders that are still doing this. They have to see their employees work before they know that they are working. And sometimes there's that, and they come in early. Bosses do come in the earliest because they want to see who's coming in on time, who is going to be late, But if you manage that way, then it's not a flexible working environment already. So it does take a mindset shift where you do not need to see your employees every day to know that they work. And this is absolutely possible these days because of the advent of technology, with multitudes of mobile apps out there that allow you to clock in and log in all of the activities that you have in days and weeks out. So it's absolutely possible these days, but it's just whether or not the owners, managers, and leaders can trust that system. And the third one is a really cool one. The third one is all about considering that flexible working environments and hours are not for everyone. It's not for every individual. I think a lot of businesses tend to feel that if I have flexible working hours for one person, I've got to have them for all. You don't need to do that. And sometimes it's also really important that employees work long enough with certain superiors. They have also earned the trust working with in that company. But more importantly, that these employees have a certain maturity to them. And I know, and I can share this with you. Flexibility fallen into the wrong hands can be worse off. It can create more problems. I'll give you a simple example. New entrepreneurs, people who start their businesses, they quit their jobs and then they become an entrepreneur, they struggle. The first 3 to 6 months, and I'll speak from personal experience, the first 3 to 6 months is a struggle to try and get that discipline in place. You know, you get so caught up with that freedom and you get excited about that. I control my own time now. What do I do? You know, and so there will be a lack of that discipline. And that's why I'm saying, if flexible working environments fall into the wrong hands, people that lack the discipline or the ability to plan their time well, it could be worse for that individual. So those are some things that you consider. So those are the 3 points here, gang. But this is the thing. Flexible working environments can be an amazing dream come true for employees. You know, I've got such an understanding company, they let me come to work anytime and go home anytime, I can go do all my errands. Sure, but businesses still need to be sustainable. And that's really, really important. It's not just about the employee, but still, it's also making sure that as a business, you're profitable and you're sustainable, because if people are still... And the worst part of this, I've seen businesses that have flexible working hours, and you know what happens? They're firefighting within the company to have a team meeting. The team meetings are not a system. That's the accountability system. So when people are firefighting to have a meeting, and you know, the biggest question is, hey, you know, when was the last time all of you sat down like this? 4 months ago. We're on that company trip. Like, what? You were having a company trip. So sitting down together and having that discipline, the accountability system, is really important, and everybody has got to be able to respect that system as well for it to work. Yeah. So guys, this is today's happy hour. I really hope you enjoyed it. Today is not really a sip, you know, it's kind of a big gulp. There's a lot to take in, but I hope for some of you out there that are considering that flexible working environment, that you think it through carefully, be absolutely clear with some of the factors that I've highlighted above. I hope it helped. And remember this, guys, have a great business and have a great life, because being in business is about having more life. Take care and see you next week.